Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday night, 9:30 on the East Coast, so we all know what that means. That means we're alive right here on Believers Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this live Thursday night edition of Believers Talk. I'm going to wait, obviously, till some of you get into this room. Always have a good time hanging out with Bill's Mafia, and boy, we have a show for you today talking about Coach McDermott signing his extension yesterday, Dawkins signing his extension today. We solidify probably the most important position on that offensive line. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. Hey, Uzi T, glad to see you in here. Thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, guys, you want to be sure to hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills news. Guys, we are going to go live the moment breaking news hits. We did that today when we extended Dawkins. Excuse me, I got some going on. Hey, Marcel, how you doing? Good to see you in here. We went live when we re-signed or extended Dawkins. We are going to continue to keep you covered on the Buffalo Bills. And as the thumbnail says, who's next, right? Or is someone going to be next? Have the Buffalo Bills finished their extensions? I personally don't think so, but we're going to talk about that in this episode. We're going to talk about a lot of things, guys. So I'm glad you can join me for this live edition of Believers Talk. And we're going to wait a little bit. Might I just do? No, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. All right, we're going to do that. Pop out this chat, try to act like we know what's going on here. Again, guys, thank you for joining me. Make sure as you enter the chat room, you hit that thumbs up button. Let people know here. Share this video. Let people know we're going live. In fact, that's what I'm trying to do right now. But here's the thing. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, as you guys know, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. So we'll see if we can get people to come join us for this live edition. I know Buffalo Fanatics went live at 9 o'clock. I know they have that Thursday night slot, so we try to make it a little bit later. Keep the conversation going. You know what I'm saying? Keep Bills Mafia in the loop about what is going on. They're talking about Dawkins over there. We'll spend some time talking about Dawkins, obviously, talk about the contract extension, talking about what it might mean long-term for the Buffalo Bills, a 4-year contract extension for $60 million. Now, that does not include the final year of his rookie deal, right? He's coming up on the final year of his rookie deal, so still pretty cheap. In 2020, it's not until 2021 that contract extension goes into full effect. However, the contract extension from yesterday goes into full effect starting this year. That is the extension of Coach Sean McDermott. Coach Sean McDermott, the first Buffalo Bills head coach to get a contract extension since Dick Duran did in 2008. So it's been a little bit since we had a head coach that we can believe in, since we've had a head coach that deserved a contract extension. Now it's all about getting Brandon Beane that extension. You want to talk about something that's been a while. It's been a while since we've had a contract extension for a Buffalo Bills GM. I was on Twitter earlier today, guys. And guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you do that. Twitter.com/Believers Talk. It's not that hard, I don't think. But yeah, I have a poll up right now, so make sure you go to that poll question. But I said something earlier about how nice it is to have confidence in our GM and in our coaching staff. It's been a long time since we've had that. We're talking about extensions, right? We're talking about contract extensions and who we want to be the next person to get a contract extension. Well, a lot of people are talking about Matt Milano. Obviously, that's an obvious choice for the next contract extension. And I hope that we do give Matt Milano a contract extension. I hope that Matt Milano stays on this team throughout his career. But I just don't know if that's possible. I really don't know if that's something that the Buffalo Bills can do. But it's nice to know that we can trust Brandon Beane. Listen, if the Buffalo Bills, if Brandon Beane does not re-sign Matt Milano, I'm going to be very disappointed. But I'm going to be sure that he has a reason for it. I'm going to be sure that he has a plan looking down the line, right? It's not just doing something just because he feels like it's the right move at the time. He is going to make sure that's the right move moving forward as well. So again, guys, thank you all for coming in here on this Thursday. I'm watching the hockey game. I don't know, have you guys been happy with the NHL, the way they've got things going? Let me straighten my hat here too, guys. The way they've kept things going, the bubble seems to be working, obviously, between the NHL and the NBA. So I'm sitting here watching the Bruins-Hurricanes game, hoping the Hurricanes can come back and pull off victory here I don't know about the rest of you all, but I truly believe that the Boston Bruins are the Sabres' biggest rival. So I don't know what you guys think about that. But that's what we're watching as we're getting ready to talk more about these contract extensions of both Dawkins and Coach Sean McDermott. Again, we can talk a lot about Coach McDermott, some comments made by the Pegulas yesterday as he signed his contract extension. Dawkins, obviously the first draft choice of Coach McDermott. So this is the first Coach McDermott guy to actually get a contract extension. So, we heard Paul from #Sports talk about what that means a little bit earlier when they went live. So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that here as well. But as everyone keeps rolling in here, guys, remember to share this video, like this video. I'm going to let people know that we're here on Twitter as well. You guys got the Twitter thing going, got the social media thing going. I don't know how you guys do it with social media and all that good stuff. But again, guys, we're here to talk about those extensions and who's next, right? You talk about some of the guys that are on the Buffalo Bills team that only have a year left on their contracts. Again, we talked about Matt Milano being a big one, but there are some other guys that we could re-sign as well. We'll get to that as well in this episode, talk about who is on the last year of their contracts and who can be re-signed by the Buffalo Bills. And they don't have to necessarily be on the last year of the contract. Obviously, the big name is Tre'Davious White. We're hoping that the Buffalo Bills do re-sign Tre'Davious White, whether that be this year or next year. We're not sure when that's going to happen, but we want that to be soon. So let me take a look here. I'm using spottrack.com for all of the Buffalo Bills information, talk about, the contract years, when they expire, and see who might be the next person to get that contract extension. Because again, I don't think they're done. You guys can let me know in the comment section what you think, but I do not think the Buffalo Bills are done extending people. Again, today was a big day. Hey, angry Buffalo sports fan, glad to see you in here. This isn't right. This is Buffalo. We're supposed to clean house and get all their stuff after every 2 or 3 years. Yeah, again, it's weird, right? It's weird to be this confident and comfortable with your team that when the head coach is re-signed, you feel confident about that. Not too much talk about Coach McDermott being re-signed in his third year. And we're going to talk about that as well, right? Was this a good re-signing, or was this a little bit too early for Coach McDermott, right? Coach McDermott 0-2 in the playoffs. Coach McDermott's yet to win a playoff game. But you also have to consider why are they re-signing Coach McDermott? Are they simply re-signing Coach McDermott because of his record? Because his record's only 2 games above 500. It's not like he has a great regular season record as of yet, right? It's not like he's blowing people away with his postseason success, 0-2 in the postseason. So why would the Pegulas and Brandon Beane feel comfortable enough to re-sign a Coach McDermott, even though he does not have that type of success? What did I twist, Tony? I twist a lot of things, but that would be interesting to talk about that a little bit as well. And I want to talk about that because I believe there's more. As the Carolina Hurricanes just score a goal again, I want to see the Hurricanes win this one. I don't like Boston, so but I do want to talk more about why I believe the Pegulas re-signed Coach McDermott. It's not all due to record, right? And you can believe in the culture now, right? You can believe in what Coach McDermott is doing and what he plans to do in the future. Hey, Karen, glad that you are in here. Karen has a question. Do you think Dawkins wanted to stay in Buffalo, or was the money the final factor? Remember, Spain re-signed for a 5-man deal. So, Karen, to answer your question, back in March, ESPN actually talked to Dawkins, and he really talked about how he wanted to stay in Buffalo. In fact, a direct quote from Dawkins is that he let me pull it up here. I had it up because I knew we'd be talking about Dawkins a lot in this video, obviously. I'm trying, and this is a direct quote from Dawkins back in March of 2020. I'm trying to be in Buffalo forever. So I've just got to do my part, and when the time comes, I'll be happy to sign on the dotted line. So yeah, Dawkins wanted to stay in Buffalo. Like he said in March, he wants to stay in Buffalo forever. Whenever I hear the word forever, I always think of Sandlot. I'm not sure about anybody else, but I always think of the Sandlot. So let me know if you think about the Sandlot when you hear the word forever as well. forever. Tony B, he took a garbage team and took them to the playoffs in year one and has rebuilt this team to be a force to reckon with for years to come. And I hope you're right, Tony. I agree with you. I think that he has taken this team and made them into a potential playoff / AFC East / Super Bowl contender for years to come. But not just him. Right? You think about the whole coaching staff. Think about Leslie Frazier, obviously doing a great job. You think about Brandon Dable. He has his good days and his bad days. Think about Brandon Beane and the teams that he has provided Coach McDermott with, right? We all knew about the salary issues this team was heading into in the 2018 season, well before 2018. In fact, we kind of knew it in 2016. 2017 was just like some sugarcoating that made it look like it was going to be better than it was. But if you were a true Bills fan, if you were looking down the pipeline, you knew that 2018 was going to be an issue. But in order to have a great team, you got to get rid of the trash, right? You got to get rid of the trash, and that means sometimes you got to take the hits that come along with that, okay? And that's what 2018 was. And we needed to do that so that way in Marcel Darius is pretty much the best example of that. But that meant 2019, we could start focusing on success. And if you guys were with me last year at the middle point of last year all the way up to the end, I said that the playoffs were just a bonus for the Buffalo Bills. At the end of last year, I said this, and I still believe it today. The Buffalo Bills are ahead of schedule, right? 2018 was supposed to look like what the Dolphins season will look like this year. We have a good, solid running game. We have a good, solid defense. We just have a young offense around that needs to get going. Well, we blew the door past that in 2019, signing all these new free agent offensive linemen. All of a sudden, we got a veteran offensive line. Now, sure, it took them some time to get used to one another, but we knew that we had a veteran offensive line. The only young guy we got on that offensive line is right tackle Cody Ford, who is now coming into his own as well. So a veteran offensive line group. We signed Brown and Beasley, so we had a veteran wide receiving core. Now we got an even better wide receiving core with the addition of Stephon Diggs. So this team was and is ahead of schedule. Guys, we are 2 years removed from not making the playoffs and talking about being the AFC East favorites, the favorites to win the AFC East just in 2 years. Like, that's all it took for Coach McDermott, for Brandon Beane, and for this team to turn it around. We haven't seen that type of success in Buffalo in probably forever. Probably forever. We haven't seen that type of success, that type of turnaround in Buffalo since at least the early 90s. Or I'm sorry, the late 80s, I should say. That's when that team was really brought together. Karen Williams says, is it true that Coach McDermott's first day as head coach, he made them take the pool table out of the locker room? Read that somewhere. I haven't read that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. Coach McDermott is a culture guy, which let's get into that, because I believe that has a huge part to do with why he was re-signed at this time, right? The Pagulas didn't wait for him to get a playoff win. The Pagulas didn't wait for that price tag to maybe be a little bit higher. The Pagulas knew that in 3 years, Coach McDermott might not have brought all the success that the Bills want, that Bills fans want, but he has brought them an opportunity for that success. He has brought them an opportunity to capture that success, and he has brought a culture along with him. You know, when people started throwing the word culture at me, you know, I wasn't sure if I was a believer in that at first, but now that we see it in action, you have to believe it. You have to believe that culture has a lot. Carolina scored again. It's 2-1. Go Carolina. Anyway, you have to believe that culture has a lot to do with the success in Buffalo, with Lorenzo Alexander saying, hey, if they need me, if they're in a pinch, I'll be right back. I'll be right there. Stephon Diggs coming over from Minnesota and saying, hey, look at this culture. This is a place I want to be. Josh Norman talking about when he came into the league, how about the trash that the Buffalo Bills were to where they are now and how he wants to be a part of that. That's all that has happened in the last 3 years under Brandon Beane, under Coach McDermott. You have nobody else to thank right now except for that coaching staff and that front office for the culture that has been brought to Buffalo, and that other teams around the NFL, other players around the NFL are beginning to take notice to. Right? They're beginning to take notice to this Buffalo Bills team that's building something. They're building something, and people around the league know that they're building something big. And Buffalo sports fan says, yeah, he took the pool table, the pool table, foosball table, and he took the video game system out of the locker room. I guess players are playing video games during the Rex Ryan era. Yeah, Rex Ryan wasn't known for his hard work Mondays through Saturdays, that's for sure. Rex Ryan was not a disciplined guy, not known as someone who will bring culture to a locker room. I think the second one was the ping pong table. Marcel Rios comes in. Do you think the extension of Dawkins means that the leaving of Cody Ford? No, two different positions, right? Left tackle, right tackle. No, Cody Ford, this is only his second year. We got him cheap, man. We got him cheap for the next couple of years. You can't give up on him just after one season. And again, I think there are times last season at right tackle that Cody Ford made strides, right? Everyone was worried about that Denver game. Von Miller going up against Cody Ford. How is he going to handle that? Handle it pretty well. In fact, I would say that every time Bills fans were concerned about how Cody Ford was going to handle a certain player on the defense, he did pretty well. It was when we weren't worried about Cody Ford, they seemed to make the most mistakes. But guys, I think Cody Ford has really made strides in his first year, moving into his second year. And I don't think that Coach McDermott is ready to give up on him as a right tackle. I know losing Feliciano made it a little scarier, thinking that we might move him into guard. But with the signing of Winters, it seems like they're going to keep Cody Ford at that tackle position. Oh, after the rookie contract, well, there's still 3 years. Right, he was a second round, so there's still 3 years left, right? Still 3 years left on that deal. So a lot could change between then and now. A lot could change with the Dawkins contract. Because when you look at the Dawkins contract, right, you're talking 4 years, $60 million, with I believe 35 of it is guaranteed, something like that. 34 million guaranteed. We haven't gotten the full details, but it's really set up to be a team-friendly contract just by what we know at the moment. So you think about those guarantees, spread those out over the next 4 seasons or 5 seasons if you include in this year as well, and that really stretches out pretty good, where we're going to have a lot of financial stability moving forward. And after we're at the left tackle position, as Paul mentioned in his video, this makes Dawkins the 5th highest paid left tackle in the NFL, but that's only right now. In 3 seasons, he's probably going to be like the 15th, 16th highest paid offensive left tackle in the NFL. So we're going to see what happens in the future. But I think thinking about Cody Ford, it's a little early for that. Obviously, you want to see how he improves at that tackle position. And you know what? We don't want this to happen. Boston ties the game up with looks like 4 seconds left in the second period. So it's 2-2 Boston, Carolina. Guys, I'm loving I'm loving sports right now, guys. I'm just really excited that sports are back. I hope that you guys are too. Doc's worth every penny, says Tony B. Karen comes in and says, thankfully, when the time comes, we can exercise Edmonds and Allen's 5th-year option before their contract talks. I hope that we have Allen signed before. I don't want to go through a Dak Prescott situation. You know what I mean? I don't want to have that looming over our head. Think about that. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan right now, you can enjoy this season, but you also have to enjoy it knowing that this might be the last time you see Dak Prescott in a Dallas Cowboys uniform, especially if he doesn't perform well. And listen, you might not be a fan of Dak Prescott, but I've said plenty of times on this channel, especially talking about Dawkins, you want to dance with the devil you know before you go on to a devil that you don't, right? You don't want to bring in a quarterback anywhere that is not better. That if you don't re-sign Dak Prescott, if you do not re-sign Dak Prescott, you better hope you get a quarterback in there that's better than Dak. And I promise you the market for Dak will be nuts. Do I think he deserves it? That's up for debate. But the market for Dak will be crazy because Dak is a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. So teams are going to go out of their way to try to sign Dak Prescott if the Dallas Cowboys can't get the job done. So again, want to dance with W no instead of taking a chance with W don't. I'm getting distracted by my Cubs. Darvish just blew the no-hitter in the 7th, so less distracted now. I didn't know he had no-hitter going. But yeah, there's been a lot of great sports on lately, guys. Talk about a 5 overtime game in hockey. just the other day. It's just been insane, absolutely been insane. So I've really been enjoying sports. If we can't have fans in the stadium, well, 73,000 blow up Dallas too. Thomas, I think they said, I talked to the Pagulas about your idea of the 73,000 blow up Dallas, and they said as long as you provide the blow up Dallas and the masks, and they even said they would reduce ticket prices to $25 a seat for 73,000 blow up Dallas. But they did say that you need to pay for all 73,000 seats. You can't just pay for 10. You have to pay for them all or nothing. So 25, I got them to lower ticket prices to 25 bucks. Best I could do, but you have to provide the masks and you have to provide the all 73,000 blow up Dallas. So we'll see what happens. And remember, when New England comes to town, you don't have to worry about them bringing dildos to throw on the field anymore because Tom Brady's not there. Figure out something else to throw on the field, okay? But we talk about the Dawkins contract again, $60 million over 4 years after next season, after his last year of his rookie deal, 34 of that to be guaranteed. So the extension goes through the 2024 NFL season. And again, the left tackle position is one of the most important positions, if not the most important position on the offensive line. You're talking about your quarterback's blind spot, right? So your left tackle is the one that gets paid the most. And just to see a Buffalo guy, and I know we haven't always been happy with Dawkins with his performance on the field. I know Paul from #Sports, he's not always excited about Dawkins, but you have a good left tackle. You have a good left tackle. So pay him now so that way you can have a good left tackle locked up for the next few years. Remember, he had a bad 2018, bounce back year in 2019. Maybe he can continue to perform better based on that performance in 2019. Then we'll have a really great left tackle at a really low price. Again, 5th highest paid left tackle right now, but in a few years, that's going to look like nothing, okay? So that's something. And as Tony B said, left tackle is hard to find. I think it was also Paul who brought up earlier, remember, with the college season looking like, I know some of the conferences have not, said they won't play yet, but it does not look good for college football. If it doesn't look good for college football, that means the draft is going to be more of a crapshoot than ever when it comes to drafting players. Do you want to draft a left tackle that you have no clue about, or do you want to keep the left tackle that you have? At least you know you have stability at that left tackle position, because this 2021 NFL draft is going to be very interesting, especially if there's no college football. Now, it's going to be very interesting also during the offseason to see what they do in Indianapolis. Will there be an NFL Combine? Because remember, there was an NFL Combine this past offseason. In March, there was the NFL Combine. It was shortly thereafter things started shutting down, right? There were no pro days or very few pro days, things like that. So they did have a Combine this year. What's going to happen next year at the NFL Combine? Hate to say it, March is coming up. Like, it's coming up. And it doesn't look like we're any closer to figuring this thing out than we were in April of this past year. So we'll see what happens. Whenever we throw on the field for the Patriots, we know Cam isn't going to die for. I like that. I like that. That's funny. I like that. That's great. That's where Bean will make magic. Trade back and get a lot of third, fourth, and fifth round picks that are underrated guys with the right DNA. Perfect year to do it. It might be. You might absolutely be right, Tony B. Try to trade back, get a lot of those third, fourth, and fifths. Maybe get like a second in 2021, and then you have time to see this team how they perform in their senior season or something like that. So again, that's not a bad idea. Maybe get some big time third round picks, fourth round picks, and then go from there. So we talk about Dawkins, not Brian Dawkins. We talk about Dawkins, talk about Sean McDermott. So now I want to know from you guys, who do you think is next? Who is next to get the contract extension? Again, the big name you throw out there, Matt Milano, right? Tre'Davious White, is he going to get a contract extension? Brandon Beane, as Tony B comes in here and says, Brandon Beane, as a GM, does he get a contract extension? Who is the next person to get bills like Feliciano? Feliciano's another guy that get that contract extension as well. Do you give a contract extension to one of our wide receivers, right? Maybe you give a contract extension to Diggs to get his contract where he would like it. Do you give a contract extension to Brown or Beasley because they're on the last couple years of their contracts as well? I'll take a McBean with a side of Allen and supersized arm. Cincinnati B. Do you think that we'll make through a 16-game season with COVID going on? Thomas, that's a $1 million question, right? I feel like we're going to start on time, right? I feel like we're going to start on time. Thursday, the 10th, we will watch I think it's the 10th. We will watch the Kansas City Chiefs at home against the Houston Texans. Hopefully, week 1 goes on without a hitch. After that, who knows what's going to happen. I will say this, though. Remember week 1 of the Major League Baseball season? The Marlins went down. The Phillies went down. Then after that, the Cardinals went down. Everyone was panicking, right? Panicking. What's going to happen with this baseball season? Well, here we are, couple weeks in now, 3-4 weeks in now, and it's kind of died down. This oh no, the world is falling when it comes to baseball. Kind of died down. Yes, the St. Louis Cardinals are still a problem child. Every sport's gonna have their problem child, right? But again, if baseball can make this work somehow, no, why can't football? And remember, football has a very big advantage where if you miss 2 weeks of football games, you miss 2 games. If you miss 2 weeks of baseball games, you're talking about missing 8, 9, 10 games. If you miss 2 weeks of football games, you're talking about missing 2 games that you can make up possibly at later dates if necessary. Okay, so I think that's a big factor to take a look at as well. I do believe the football season finishes. I do believe we have 16 games for every single team. My only question will be, will it take 17 weeks? I think it's going to take more than 17 weeks to complete those 16 games, which means that the playoffs might be a little crazier, right? You talk about if you're the number 1 seed in the AFC or NFC, you might get 2 weeks off instead of 3. So it makes it even more important to make sure you play your guys week 17, even if you did clinch it already, to make sure they stay as fresh as possible, because who knows what's going to happen with scheduling. Now, of course, by week 17, the teams will probably know when the playoffs will start, right? So I won't be surprised at all. Hey, Anthony, good to see you in the chat. Again, guys, make sure you join the conversation. Always enjoy talking to you guys. Just answering a question earlier asked by Thomas Camp, asking if I think the season will go off without a hitch. There will be hitches. There's just going to be hitches. Again, look at baseball. There's going to be hitches, but I think we're going to get a full 17-week, 16-game season. I just think it's going to take more than 17 weeks to get it done. Okay, if that makes sense. I think by late February, we'll well be having a Super Bowl, and we will see, hopefully, our Buffalo Bills represent AFC in the Super Bowl. Guys, while this season's going on, make sure you join us right here on Believers Talk for live play-by-play of every single Buffalo Bills game. You can't watch the Bills game because you're at work, or because you have a wedding, or because you have something important going on, and you just want to listen. Tune into Believers Talk. Turn into hashtag sports. We both do the live play-by-play. We alternate weeks, so we'll have the schedule out to you when we know what the schedule is going to be. And then if you can watch it with us. And again, join the conversation. Always have a good time over here on Believers Talk. Discipline will and the system will keep the Bills healthy. Some other teams will have issues. Well, what's nice is we did see Bills players getting together this offseason, even during the pandemic, to get some workout in together, to have that time to figure out the playbook together. So I think that's important. It cannot be overstated enough. Tony B comes in and says, Uzi T says, Levi Wallace would be an interesting one to see if he deserves to be re-signed. Okay, so you're saying cornerback is going to be who's next. Now, are you still talking about our big cornerback and Tre'Davious White, or are you talking about maybe Josh Norman, right? Because Josh Norman only signed a 1-year deal. So Josh Norman, if he impresses early on enough, do we re-sign him as fast as we can, right? Because if we have Josh Norman at like 50 to 75% where he was back in Carolina, we have a really good player for 1 year, and we want to maybe extend him for even longer. And like you said, Uzi, Levi Wallace, a big name guy who you might want to re-sign as well. A lot of guys down the pipeline who the Buffalo Bills with Brand Bean might want to consider re-signing. And guys, again, I don't think we're done. I would not be surprised if tomorrow you see me breaking news about the Buffalo Bills re-signing another player. I just think it's a matter of who it is that we are going to re-sign. John comes in. It's going to be Brandon Bean because they want McDermott and Bean contract ending at the same time. I think that Bean has a good chance to get re-signed. Now he has not been here as long as McDermott's been here, so I'm not sure if the Pagulas might wait another season. But I do want to see Bean and McDermott together because they make one heck of a team. But you also have to wonder if maybe Bean wants to get an opportunity somewhere else as well. But maybe they want to have success with the Buffalo Bills before they move forward. Hoyer taking first round snaps for New England. I think that's par for the course. I wouldn't be surprised if Webb or Jake Fromm are taking first team reps for the Buffalo Bills every once in a while in training camp, just to make sure, hey, if something goes wrong, if something goes completely haywire, if we lose both quarterbacks. Because remember, going back to a quarterback I mentioned earlier, when Dak Prescott came in for the Cowboys, he was not their second string quarterback. Their second string quarterback actually got hurt in the preseason, and then Tony Romo also got hurt in the preseason later, and that left Dak Prescott available to take the mantle, and he took it, and he did a good job, right? So having your third string or second string quarterback take first team reps during training camp, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I don't think that's really an indicator of what's going on in New England. Remember, out of everyone in there, Hoyer has the most experience, and Hoyer has played the type of style that Tom Brady would play, right? I'm familiar with the type of style of offense that Bill Belichick would run. So, or Josh McDaniels, whoever you're talking about. Anthony says, who's getting re-signed tomorrow? If someone's getting re-signed tomorrow, I have to believe it's Matt Milano. If anyone's getting re-signed tomorrow, I have to believe it's Matt Milano, right? You're talking about big names getting re-signed. I mean, I would love for it to be Tre'Davious White. My worry, here's my concern. If we re-sign Matt Milano and start the 2020 NFL season without having Tre'Davious White re-signed, that has me worried. That would have me a little worried that we re-signed two of the three stars that we were worried about not being able to sign off three, and the one we didn't sign is the biggest of those three stars. That would have me very concerned entering the 2021 offseason, hoping that we would re-sign Tre'Davious White at some point there. What happens to Barkley now that we drafted Fromm? I still believe Barkley's our number 2 quarterback. I think Fromm's going to be our number 3. I think the question is what happens to Webb now that we drafted Jay Fromm. I think that's pretty much the question. Do we keep Webb on the practice squad, or maybe we drop Fromm down to the practice squad because he is practice squad eligible, especially since we have the NFL has given more leeway towards the practice squad. I think there's 16 guys now allowed on the practice squad. Definitely opens things up for every NFL team to be able to do something with those practice squad. McDermott would own New England if Cam starts. I think should be expected to beat New England this year, no matter who starts there. I think the Sabres could sign White for goalie. Why not? We tried to sack a coach. At this point, listen, as I say, you're watching the Panthers and Bruins game. All I can think about is how did the Sabres not make the playoffs this year when 80% of the teams made the playoffs? It's really, really ridiculous. Might as well try White and goalie. I mean, you could try me at goalie and just see what happens. I heard we offered Trey a contract, decided a counter offer, but then it's been a pause since then. I did hear that the Bills offered Tre'Davious White a contract. There probably was a little back and forth. There always is a little back and forth. And listen, they don't want all that stuff to become public. So it's very possible that the source that leaked this information got found out, and the Bills and Tre'Davious White's corner were like, hey, stop that. Don't do that. And so that's why it got silent in the public eye. But just because it's silent in the public eye does not mean there's not back and forth. You're not a good agent if you're not doing a little haggling back and forth, right? If the Bills came out at Tre'Davious White's agent and offered him a deal, and in that first deal within 10 minutes, I like it. We're doing it. You're not being a good agent. You're not trying to do the best you can for your client. So I'm not worried about them having a little back and forth. To be honest, the fact that the Bills did offer a contract to him gives me good hopes and speaks to their willingness to want to get Tre'Davious White signed now. Daniel, welcome to the show, podcast, stream. I don't know what you call this thing anymore. Welcome to the stream. Don't worry about Trey. They have him for 2 more years under contract. Then we have that 5th-year option still. Excuse me. Oh, no, second year would be the 5th-year option, but I want him forever. I want him never to go anywhere. I want him to stay in Buffalo, right? So that's why I'm worried. I'm going to continue to be worried. And they could always franchise tag him too, but I just don't know about all that. Player steps to clear waivers to get on the practice squad. I have doubts about Fromm not being claimed. That's also very true, Daniel. If Fromm goes on the practice squad, someone probably will claim him. But if we like Webb more than Fromm, like that's just that is what it is. But now we can use Webb on special teams as well, which gives him a little bit of an edge to possibly make the roster. We do keep Fromm and keep Barkley. But yeah, I think Barkley, to still go back to Karen's question, I think Barkley right now is safe as QB2. I more think about what if Webb will make this team as QB3 or if that's going to be Jake Fromm's position. It's a chat, Daniel. It's a chat. Hey, Amy, glad that you are here. I am sorry. It's okay to be late. I'm sorry you're late just because we missed the conversation, but you haven't missed too much. If you haven't watched the news today, Amy, the Buffalo Bills did restructure, or I'm sorry, not restructure, but they did extend Dawkins. Dawkins got 4-year, $60 million extension, some pretty good money. And if you didn't hear already yesterday, the Buffalo Bills did re-signed Coach McDermott as well, gave him an extension. So both of them are extended. I think the news isn't done because we listen around the NFL, guys. Listen around the NFL, you hear a lot of names. You hear a lot of names, people's contracts being extended. I talked about this a little bit earlier when we first did the video about Dawkins. You saw 2 tight ends, Kittle and Kelsey, get extensions today. I think there's been plenty more names over the past week of players getting contract extensions. And listen, the more it looks unlikely that college football is going to be a thing in 2020, the more likely you're going to hear about these contract extensions. Because again, these GMs, these coaches, they don't want to chance it on wild card. What they want to do is make sure they have a sure thing. Even if they're not 100% the sure thing's the best fit, they feel like it's a better fit than some random guy out of college that they'd be picking up. So we'll see what happens. I highly doubt they would keep Webb over Fromm. I'm just thinking maybe they keep 4 quarterbacks if Webb can help out on special teams, because again, with the roster moving to 55 guys, I believe you keep 4 quarterbacks. It doesn't hurt the roster. It can move. I think there's like rules about that. So I think that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm not at training camp, obviously, so we don't know how they're performing. But we've had Webb on this team before, and he hasn't made the cut, so there's a reason for that. But yeah, I would expect to see the depth chart say Josh Allen, Matt Barkley, not Scott, Matt Barkley, and then Jake Fromm. That would be my quarterback depth chart for the Buffalo Bills week 1. Tony said, I called the NFL and told them I was opting out. How long does it take me for my $150,000 check to clear? Tony, who did you play for last year? Because I think there are some things about having to have been on a roster last season involved in that. I'll see if Thomas Camp, maybe he asked for the league to give. Maybe he asked all his blow-up dolls to opt out this year, giving him maybe a big payday. So good for him. Daniel, I do agree with you. I think last year, most of the time, we only kept 2 anyway. And I know in 2018, we kept 2 most of the time. Because even when Derek Anderson came back towards the end of the year, I'm pretty sure he was inactive for the last game or 2 of that season. So again, guys, thank you for joining me. There's always a catch. Always me. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. I'm watching the Boston Bruins Carolina Panthers game, Carolina Hurricanes game. Wow, I'm just like old today. I'm just giving out my age. Carolina Hurricanes game. Again, I'm really enjoying sports just being back. I hope you guys are too. And we're talking about possible contract extensions coming up. Talk about Dawkins and Coach McDermott and their extensions. And I'll take all your questions, guys. You want to ask anything in the comment section, be sure to do so. Do you think the Sabres make the playoffs next year? No. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Joseph, how you doing? Good to see you in the stream, man. Always glad to come on here on these live streams for you guys. I enjoy it so much. So again, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and also make sure you're sharing this with your friends. Let them know we're here. My blow up dolls are battery operated. LOL. I don't want to know. We go a lot of places with that, Thomas. We go a lot of places. I just don't want to go there. What kind of batteries do they take? Out of curiosity. You know, are they low maintenance, AA, AAA, or are they like the big boy batteries? You know, those C and D battery things. I just don't know. I just don't want to go there. But Bills going to Super Bowl this year, guys. I recently did a video. Everyone, I feel like people took it the wrong way. I'm gonna get into this a little bit. I feel like people took this video the wrong way. Listen, there have been videos posted on YouTube. I'm not gonna mention who did it because I love them. I love any Bills YouTube creator, guys. If you're not following them, always a good follow. Always a good follow. Get more Bills information. Listen, I follow most of them. If I don't follow them, it's not because I don't want to. It's because I haven't paid attention enough yet. But there have been YouTube videos out there talking about how the Bills have to win the division this year, or have to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm sorry. How the Bills have a 1 year window to win the Super Bowl. Guys, if we only have a 1 year window to win the Super Bowl, we don't give Coach McDermott a 6-year extension. That's not the team that Brandon Beane and Coach McDermott built. They built a team that can last. And that's what we want. We want a team that can last. But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Who is the last quarterback to win a Super Bowl who, going into that season, did not have a playoff victory? Go ahead. I'll wait. Does the NFL play a full 16-game season? Daniel, we talked about this earlier. Short answer, yes, but I think it's going to take more than 17 weeks to get it done. Right? So that's my answer. I think that come late February, maybe early March, there will be a Super Bowl played. Truth to Hearts, good to see you here. No need to apologize for being late. I think the Super Bowl might be backed up a little bit, but I think we play a full 16 games. It just takes longer than 17 weeks to get it done. That's my opinion. Do I think teams are going to have scrimmages against each other, especially when there's no preseason game? No. John, those scrimmages were canceled, and the commissioner said teams could not do them because the Buffalo Bills were looking to have those type of scrimmages against the Atlanta Falcons, who we would have played week 3 of the NFL preseason, and they really shut down that idea to not hold those dual team practices that teams love, and they're really good tools, but unfortunately those won't be happening this year. That was Garage Goodell put a no to that before they put a no to the preseason. So all the teams that play week 1 of the NFL season are going to be coming in with a fresh slate. The only practice they will have had at that point is training camp. They play against each other, and that's it. Carolina just missed an empty net. That's annoying, but that's going to be the problem. That's going to be a problem, but every team starts from the same spot, right? And that's why culture, like Coach McDermott's culture, is so much more important, right? We talk about the difference between Rex Ryan and Coach McDermott, how Rex Ryan had foosball tables and pool tables and Madden in the locker room, right? Where guys were playing, having a good time, not working. I'm not saying you have to work all the time, but at the same time, you have to dedicate time to your craft, right? No matter what the job is, you have to dedicate time to it if you want to be good at it. And so Rex Ryan was offering these distractions, and Coach McDermott came in and said, no distractions. You're here in the locker room to learn how to play this game right, to learn how to do your job. Everyone's talking about expectations, right? What's your expectation for the NFL football season? Oh, everyone should expect to win the Super Bowl. Every player should expect to win the Super Bowl. That's not true. That's not true. And I'll tell you why. Because a player should go into every game with the expectation to do their job. And they should expect that if they do their job, they give their team a better chance to win. Do my job within the team's philosophy, and I give my team a better chance to win. Simple focus, right? Us fans, we go nuts. I expect to win the Super Bowl. I expect to win everything. I expect to have the full 53-man roster at the Pro Bowl, be all Buffalo Bills players, right? It doesn't matter what we say. Doesn't matter. But if you are a player, if you're Dawkins, if you're Josh Allen, if you're Tremaine Edmonds, if you're Travis White, it doesn't matter who you are. Go down the list. It doesn't matter if you're Patrick DeMarco. It does not matter. Come week 1 against the Jets, your focus should be doing your job. Don't expect for anything to happen next week because who cares about next week? It's week 1 of the NFL season. You're playing the New Jersey Jets in Buffalo. Your expectation should be that you do your job, and that will hopefully help the team succeed. A player's expectation should not be to make it to the Super Bowl. A player's expectation should not be to necessarily what the rest of the mentality that McDermott brings. I wrestle my kids. I wrestle my kids. Wrestle that I coach the sport. The attitude is you leave it all out there, win or go home. There's no tomorrow. Who scores the first touchdown of the season for the Buffalo Bills? Who's good? Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox scores the first touchdown for the Buffalo Bills this season. And when some of my wide receivers, let's give it to the tight end. Some Bills fans' eyes are getting too big with extreme expectations. It happens every offseason, right? It happens listen, my expectations are pretty big as they are. And listen, I've used this example, and I'll use it here too. If the Buffalo Bills have a season this year like the San Francisco 49ers did last year, did they meet your expectations? Did they exceed your expectations? Or did they not meet your expectations? If the Buffalo Bills have a season like the 49ers did last year, they have exceeded my expectations, right? My expectations are simple. Win the division, win a home playoff game. If you make it to the AFC Championship game, that's gravy. If you make it to the Super Bowl, that's the cherry on top of the cake. I can't say cherry on top of the gravy because that sounds disgusting. But you guys get the point. You get the point. First TD says Diggs. For Daniel, my questions to you is: the Bills good enough to win a Super Bowl? Are the Bills good enough to win a Super Bowl? It's really tough to answer that question before week 1. In order to be good enough to win a Super Bowl, you have to hope that you avoid the injury bug, right? I think there are a lot of teams in the NFL that are good enough to win a Super Bowl if they don't have injuries. And the only reason why I say that is because other injuries will happen to other teams, okay? So are the Bills good enough to win a Super Bowl? Probably. Do the Bills have a better chance to win a Super Bowl if Patrick Mahomes goes down? Absolutely. Do the Bills have a better chance to win a Super Bowl if Deshaun Jackson goes down? Absolutely. I believe we're good enough, so I say finish the job. I think are we the only team? Do you think we are the only team good enough to win the Super Bowl? Right? Because you got to look at it that way too. If we're one of 5 teams good enough to win a Super Bowl, that means we have a 20% chance, right? Should you expect something when it's only a 20% chance? When I wake up tomorrow to go to work and I turn on the weather, which never happens, by the way, but let's pretend it did, and they said there's a 20% chance of rain, should I bring my umbrella? Some people do. Some people bring their umbrella and say, okay, it might rain. I wouldn't, because first of all, I don't carry an umbrella. Rain's just water, well dry. But at the same time, 20%, I like my chances. I like my chances of it not raining. So if you're saying we are the only team good enough to win a Super Bowl, then yeah, that should be your expectation. But if you're saying that we are one of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams good enough to win the Super Bowl, then that necessarily shouldn't be your expectation. See, it dwindles down, right? It dwindles down. So are we good enough to win a Super Bowl? Yes, we are. But we're one of, 7 teams, let's say. 7 teams. Okay. Are we good enough to make it to the AFC Championship game? Well, that's different. I think we're one of, let's say, 3 teams who are good enough to make it to AFC Championship game. So all of a sudden, instead of being a 15% chance, wow, it's a 33% chance. Next question. Are we good enough to win our division? Well, there's only 4 teams in our division. And I think we're the best team out of those 4. So yeah, absolutely. So it dwindles down. Your percentage gets better. Then the expectation arises from that. So that's where I'm getting my expectations from. My expectations don't come from, are we good enough to win a Super Bowl? Good, we should win it, because there are a lot of teams. The Chiefs are good enough to win a Super Bowl. The Ravens, if they all play like they did last year, the Ravens are good enough to win a Super Bowl. You're talking about the Niners, good enough to win a Super Bowl. The Seahawks, good enough to win a Super Bowl. The Saints, good enough to win a Super Bowl. The teams start piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up. The Buccaneers, all of a sudden, good enough to win a Super Bowl, right? So what can we say? Do you go with Gronk? No, I'm not picking up Gronk in any of my fantasy teams, by the way. No, I'm staying away from Gronk. I'll take OJ Howard over Gronk right now. Let me see comments. I'm a little off on a tangent there, so I do believe, so I do apologize for that. But that's how I feel. We need to be true Super Bowl contenders, because I don't want to go 0-5. I mean, I would love to see us make the Super Bowl. I don't want to see us go 0-5 either, but I would love to see us play the game. Does anybody know what happened to John Murphy? I actually did a video on it. One of my live streams, we said goodbye to John Murphy on One Bills Live. Yeah, his contract right now, they did not renew. He will still be doing play-by-play on WGR, but we did talk about it on one of my live streams. So you weren't paying attention. You weren't here. Guys, thank you for being here. If you haven't already hit that thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button. Thank you for joining me live Thursday night. Normally go live for about an hour, so we're getting close to that. We got a few minutes left. If you have a question you want to ask, make sure you get over in the comment section. Again, we talk about Dawkins. 4-year, $60 million renewed contract, left tackle, locked up. Very important. We talked about what happened yesterday with the re-signing or restructuring of Coach McDermott's extension, I should say, of Coach McDermott. So very good stuff. I think the team's good enough to make a deep run. Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bills, maybe the Texans in the AFC. That's 6 teams in the AFC. 6. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams. So you're talking about what, 18% chance for the Buffalo Bills, right? 18% chance. So should that be our expectation? I just don't think so. Then Gronk, yes, he did. Do you watch Yellowstone or Paramount Network? Do they have football on them? Do they have sports? My channel list revolves around sports, Karen. So I do apologize. I don't watch movies. I don't watch shows. I watch sports. I'll watch the Golf Channel before I'll watch the USA Network. Like that's just my life, and so I do apologize for that, Karen. But yeah, no, I don't watch too much Paramount. Maybe Saturday, if it's a Saturday at 2 a.m., I'll be looking for a movie, so I know where Paramount is. I think a show that I have watched in the past that I don't watch anymore because I have a 2-year-old, so kids take over your life, is Bar Rescue. I think they play that on Paramount. So yes, I do know that they exist, and I have probably watched them in the past, but not normally. But why do you ask? I'm wondering, what do you watch on Paramount, or is it Yellowstone? No, they didn't make the work. That work Gronk played out at North. They tried. Hey, Elliot. Hey, everybody. Hey, Elliot. Good to see you. Always glad you're coming on to these live streams. Class of '88 here, Daniel Gowers. I'm glad that you guys, the normal cast of characters. Always good to see you guys in here. But yeah, I think that this is a good chance. This is a good year for the Buffalo Bills to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. I think that if the Buffalo Bills do not win the division, they have not met my expectations. Right now, if the Buffalo Bills do not win the division, make it to the AFC Championship game, then we have to reevaluate. But yeah, if the Buffalo Bills do not win the division this year, I think then we're selling ourselves short. We're not, and that's another reason why the Buffalo Bills re-signed or extended Coach McDermott's contract, right? Because you talk about reaching your potential, right? 2017, we maxed out our potential. With Tyrod Taylor, we went to the playoffs. So that's telling you something about making our potential, right? I think we got the most out of that team that we could. We squeezed every ounce of talent out of that team to make the playoffs for Kyle Williams, to give him a playoff game before he decided to call it quits. He did give us one more year, but yeah, just We squeezed every bit of talent out of that team. 2018, we knew it was going to be an issue, and then 2019 last year, we're going having 10 wins for the first time since 1995, building a culture, getting yourself going, getting yourself momentum as the Hurricanes score, giving us a 3-2 lead over the Boston Bruins. So good job, Carolina, there. But again, guys, thank you so much for joining me again. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button. Typically in the AFC, it's only 5 competitive teams, and the NFC is usually a new team or a team who hasn't went in a while. That's why all the NFC quarterbacks to win Super Bowls only won once, except Eli. And Eli took a while, right? There was a big gap between his. And you know, about the AFC only having a few contenders, there's this guy named TV12 who kept the contender list down for quite some time. If you look at the AFC right now, talking about contenders, for me, the Chiefs have to be on that list. Yeah, my list is a little bit different than the list I read off earlier. Chiefs have to be on that list. I don't think anybody in the AFC South, there's not a single team. Lick the like button if you want to. I have kept close eye on this laptop. I know where it's been. There are some computers I don't touch. All right, I don't know where they've been. I don't want to. Expect to win. The Bills do so. The fans should join them. Again, it's not that I don't expect to win every game, but you have to break it down. Why should I join them? Why should I set expectations to win a Super Bowl when I just don't think that's the reality of it? And I would love to be wrong. I would love to be surprised. I should set my expectations to realistic goals, right? I should set my expectations to realistic goals. I think winning the division is a realistic goal. I think winning a playoff game is a realistic goal. I think making it to the Super Bowl is a little bit of a stretch. I look at the teams that are out there and just say, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with improving steadily year after year after year. That's how it normally gets done in life, okay? So no, I should expect to win every game. When we're in the Super Bowl, I will be cheering for us to win. I'll be expecting us to. I'll create myself a game plan of how the Buffalo Bills can beat the Niners, or beat the Seahawks, or beat the Cowboys, or beat the Saints, or beat whoever we play. But until that time comes, and then when we make it to the Super Bowl, I can admit, hey, my expectations. We went above and beyond my expectations. So everything up on top is gravy. And listen, I like my chair on top of the sundae, so I'll take it anytime. What do I gain by doing that? Nothing. But I don't lose as much if we don't make the Super Bowl, right? Here's the truth. If we don't win the division, I'm going to be disappointed. But it's a lot easier to win your division than go to the Super Bowl. So what do I gain by setting realistic goals, realistic expectations? Listen, if you're a 49ers fan, you were very upset that you lost in the Super Bowl. Okay, my best friend, the guy I lived with for 5 years out of high school, 6 years, how many years it was, is a San Francisco 49ers fan. He was very upset when they lost the Super Bowl. But he also looks back at the season and say, wow, what a great season the 49ers had, right? Not all teams can do that. New England Patriots fans, when their team went 18-0, 19-0, and lost the Super Bowl, when they think of that year, what do they think about? They didn't win the big one. That's all they think about. They don't care that they went 19-0 before then. 19-0 before that. How impressive is that? All they remember is David Tyree. I loved it. I'm happy about it. So what do I gain by doing what? By setting my expectations realistically? I gain a better chance to be happy about this team at the end of the year, right? I gain perspective, reality. That's what I gain. Can come up with your expectations while someone else lifts the trophy? No, I'm not coming up with my expectations. I'm not coming up at all with anything. It's not my trophy. So it's the Bills' trophy. If the Bills win, I don't get a trophy. I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. So why do I care about a trophy? I don't care about a trophy. I don't. I care about watching my team do the best they can. And if the best they can do right now is win the Super Bowl, and great, I'm going to enjoy them every moment of it. But why would I want that disappointment of saying, oh, this was a disappointing season? No, it wasn't a disappointing season. It was a disappointing loss. That's all it was. So I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to win. What do I have to win? What do I have to win? I mean, do you want me to say, listen, I have money on Buffalo making it to the Super Bowl. I have money on Buffalo winning the Super Bowl. Doesn't mean my expectations are there. I'd rather win the division and lose in the playoffs than repeat the last 15 years. The last 20 years have been rough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been talking to people though. The last 20 years in Buffalo Bills history, it seems like it's going better than the last 10 in Sabres history. I mean, let's be honest about that, right? It's not hard to make the playoffs in the NFL when only 6 out of 30 or 12 out of 32 teams make it. When half the teams make it in the NHL and you still can't do it, there's something wrong. What if McDermott calls and says, we need you all in? Coach, I'm all in. What are you giving me? What are you giving me, though? I'm all in on you. Are you all in on me? It's all about me. No, it's not about not believing in this team. I believe this team can win the Super Bowl. Again, I think we're messing with definitions here. There's a difference between expecting to win and believing you can win. I believe that those are two different things. So I believe this team, if everything goes the Bills' way this season, I believe this team can win. I believe this team has a better chance of making it to the Super Bowl than the 2008 Arizona Cardinals did when they lost barely to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Does that sound fair? I think that was that year. Someone in the comment section can remind me if that was that year or not. I believe that we have a better chance of making the Super Bowl than the Atlanta Falcons did the year they lost to New England. How's that? I like that one. I believe we can make the Super Bowl. I do, Tony. But it's not. I don't expect it. That's all. No, 18-1. Okay, Daniel, fine. Be all. They didn't win their last preseason game. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't care. I don't even care, Daniel. Whatever. I don't want Allen to be our Rivers. Damn, 17. Indy's gonna be a fun team to watch this year. I think that might be. Some people are saying Cleveland's like their dark horse. I think the Colts might be my dark horse team. If any team from the AFC South has a chance to make the Super Bowl, it might be the Colts. But Philip Rivers will Philip Rivers it, and they probably won't. So, but again, guys, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. Really appreciate the conversations, Tony. Always enjoy having you on these streams, Daniel. I know you've been here pretty much the whole time. I really do appreciate you guys. Make sure if you haven't already hit that thumbs up button, you hit that thumbs up button. Again, we have you covered with all breaking Buffalo Bills news. Even if I have to leave work and do it in the parking garage, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring you guys the breaking news. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video if you haven't, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. I do have the Hall of Fame video coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow it's Bill Polian, former GM of the Buffalo Bills, so make sure you check that out. Almost all done with that. I got Bill Polian this week, and then the one-year wonder Terrell Owens next week. So make sure if you haven't checked out the Hall of Fame series, you do that. Some great conversations in there with some really good people. So make sure you check them out. I have some people chatting with me. So John says, could I imagine going to the Super Bowl and not being able to watch it in person? Yeah, that just means you guys can watch it right here on Believers Talk because I might stream it then. Have a great night. Yeah, you too, Tony. Always good, always fun, absolutely. And I can't wait till we're being able to toast a beer together while we do watch our team in the Super Bowl. Colts definitely is a good choice because they were competitive with Brissett. Yeah, I think Colts might be a little bit of a sleeper team, but they could sleep till the playoffs until our Bills beat them. That's what I'll say about the Indianapolis Colts. But again, guys, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.